You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird brain. It's a plane. It's iWalter. iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Good morning, everyone. This is Walter on iWalter on this October 10th, Saturday morning at 2:54 a.m. Yes, I am back again. I didn't expect to do a show. Yes, it's going on 3 o'clock. That's mainly why. I could have gotten started because I got home from Philly from the Kevin Smith Babble On event at around 11 o'clock. I literally got in the door before 11 o'clock, actually. Yeah, I guess there's some stuff I can question about that. I did take some photos. Unfortunately, they did not turn out that good. And it was, it's actually two people that are involved in that whole thing with the Babble On. It's a smodcast that Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman do once a week. And they are touring right now. Now, Kevin Smith, thank goodness, was late tonight because I have a watch that I just purchased not too long ago, you know, because I wear my other watches to work, and I like to keep them there almost, or, you know, keep them, because they get chemicals on them from my job. So I got this other watch I'm just going to strictly keep away from my job altogether. So anyway, this new watch actually has, it looks like apparently tonight, it had daylight savings time, and I haven't worn the watch yet until today was the first time I wore it. So it actually fell back 1 hour, exactly 1 hour. So the problem with that was I'm like supposed to be there at 8 o'clock. I got down in Philly. I drove down from my house. I got there around 6 o'clock. So I figured, I got 2 hours to kill. So it was at the Trocadero. I walked down to the gallery to look around. There was nothing there. That whole gallery mall is completely dead. I think they're going to refurbish it or furnish it. They're going to start from scratch and make that thing. I think they're doing that. So at least there was the place I was like the most when I can eat at those. Believe it or not, is the Hard Rock Cafe. They got really good food. And mainly what I get, I mean, people chintz out and they get the cheaper food, but if you're going to eat, you might as well eat right. And I get the rib, like I forget, it's a New York strip steak. They're always really good, and they're not that expensive. Because I mean, if you really want a really good steak, then you go to Roos Crisp's House, which I don't know if there's any in Philly. I think I got that name wrong. But then you're talking about $100, you know, $50 for a small steak and entrees. Everything is an entree. You don't get anything with it, just a piece of meat. No puns intended. So that's why I ate there. But anyway, going back to my main thing, here I bought these Babble On tickets, and I apparently had VIP, which I did not get because I didn't know they existed. And I'm glad I didn't get it with Kevin Smith. He actually came down late because he had to drive down from New York again because he's up at a comic convention this week up in New York, which I didn't even know about. So he drove all the way down to this event that he was, you know, supposed to be the star of, besides Ralph Garman, and he was late. So that was perfect because the show was supposed to start at 8 p.m. tonight. I looked at my watch and it was like 10 after 8, I think, or 8 minutes after 8. It was like, crap. I'm already late. Not on my watch. My watch said 7 after 8, but my cell phone, I got the iPhone, said 8 after 8. I was like, what's going on here? And I asked this one girl, the receptionist, at Hard Rock Cafe. I said, what time is it? She said, oh, it's about 10 after 8. I was like, what? I'm late for my show. So thank goodness, it's only around the block. And plus he was late, so I got there in time and I got a front row seat. I just couldn't see very well the way it was laid out. It was, again, the Trocadero was very small to begin with. It was a sold out show too, by the way. So, that being said, I didn't miss anything. It was just the way they had it set up was not very good. I'm going to see what else is going on down there. But I mean, overall, it was entertaining. It's just, it says right here, Hollywood Babble on Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman sold out at the Trocadero. That's unbelievable. I don't think anything ever sells out. So, I mean, I love Kevin Smith's stuff. I love him. He's a nice man. I've actually got to talk to him in the past. Tonight, he really seemed like he wanted to get out of there as soon as he was done. But, yeah, he's a really cool dude. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, I'm glad that he sells out, but it just seems like everybody is like drones. I'm not saying I'm not one of them, but I think they are far worse than I am, these people who go see him. I don't know why he all of a sudden became popular again. I mean, some people actually do listen to his podcast, and I apologize if he actually would ever listen to me, which I don't think he really does. But if he does, I honestly don't listen to his show either, and I don't do it deliberately. I just really don't have the time. I've been trying to spend most of my time doing my own thing, and that is very time-consuming. I'm not even kidding. And by the way, I'm not using it tonight. I figured I'm going to try over the weekend to set them up. But I did order 2 mics and got that straightened out. And I got a official now. I had taken a recommendation from some guy I found, which I plugged the other day on the proper amp that would work perfectly with a Mac. And that is perfect for doing podcasts. Hey, I'm just looking at, for anybody who's interested, Trocadero is going to actually coming up on Wednesday of next month on the 11th of that's a Wednesday, November 11th. PIL is going to actually be down the Troc. That would be really neat to see, because you know who that is. PIL is actually Johnny Rotten and from the Sex Pistols, Johnny Loudon, I guess, John Loudon, but he's best known as Johnny Rotten in my opinion. And the rest of the band. So, hey, that's really cool. I love to see that. Depends what happens to my job. If I have more time and I can actually get money, I'll go. But that's not why. Oh, yeah, Carly Rae's actually going to be down there, too. So, see, these shows are all during the week because I like to see her. That's a Friday night. That's actually, no, I can't go see her. That's November, Friday the 13th. If I can, I've already decided I want to take off to try to go to that event in Jersey where they shot the original Friday the 13th. And I got a couple things to say about that, too. Not about that, but if I get the tickets on Monday, I'll be very happy. But going back to my main thing tonight, I did go see, Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman. And, it was good tonight. I didn't embarrass myself. Well, actually, that's impossible. I'm always embarrassing myself, so there's nothing different. But, yeah. He actually did talk a little bit about his new movie, and he's not starting, it's going to be over in, wow, I can't remember. And he said Mallrats, too. It's actually called Mallbrats. It's around here. I forget the name of the mall, though. Yeah, I really spelled that wrong. And I keep on opening my... Okay, film and location start. It's going to start in January. He said that tonight officially. Begins in January, and then he's going to go from there to actually doing actual film work in February, the month of my birthday, which is perfect. It's only a half an hour from my house where he's shooting, though. I know that much. I just can't remember. Oh, Granite Run Mall, I think it's called. And he actually did say, he said, yeah, I'm going to need lots of extras. He can't have enough. So that's a good sign. And he'll let people know on his Twitter page as soon as it becomes available. I'm just making sure I got the right mall. I thought it was Granite Moran Mall. But yeah, he said in February. No, Exton. It says Exton Square. By the looks of Exton Square. Because I know he checked out another location. I don't know if that's his final one. I thought it was the one I just mentioned. Yeah, Mallrats 2 Granite Run Mall in Philadelphia. Kevin Smith apparently definitely interested in filming Mallrats 2 at Granite Run Mall, which again is, if that's the mall that he's supposed to be doing it in, that's only 30 minutes from my house, so that's not too bad at all. And I will definitely take off if I can actually sign up to be an extra somehow, some way. I don't know. He said that tonight that sold out show was 500 people. He said that's not going to even be enough. So most likely it's just going to be probably people walking the mall, I guess. You know, you'll be basically an extra, I assume. He said that you'd have other things too. You know, maybe like little stupid skits or whatever. Who knows? But if he's asking for more than 500 people, you're basically just filling the mall. Because actually, my assumption is they're going to be doing this when the mall is closed, obviously, so they can, you know, these people are under basically a controlled environment, the people shopping in the mall, so to speak. So, but yeah, it was cool to see him. I don't mean to say that about people, but they did seem like drones, or like seals, trained seals. And I hate to say, because I love Kevin Smith. I remember him from day one when he did Clerks, and I love all his movies. They're very cool. I even like his horror movies. But it just seems like, unfortunately, it's gotten to the point. I mean, there's people actually who have traveled hours, miles away, states away just to see him tonight. I'm not even kidding. In this state alone, because it's a pretty big state, Pennsylvania. I mean, I got to give these people more credit. There was a couple that came from Pittsburgh, and there was one that came from Limerick. There was another one that came from Lancaster. Also from, because one friend lived there. Or his parents lived there. Not the place that I mentioned, but I'm drawing a blank now. There's a casino around this place too. I went and seen a horror convention. Wilkesboro. So, I mean, they're coming from all different, but they're coming out way from other states too. Just to see Kevin Smith tonight, and it was not that long. I would say he came on late, about 20 minutes late, so it was maybe like a little bit over an hour and a half. And these people traveled 6 hours just to see him. I mean, I have no room to speak because honestly, I was willing to go out to Pittsburgh to actually see that amusement of, you know, Friday the 13th 4D, which I would do. So, I mean, I guess I'm no better. But it's just kind of strange. I don't know. And I'll go to the ends of the earth to see Kevin Smith when I can. Tonight I just had taken off once again, though. So it was good, and I'm glad he actually finally said about that. I don't know anything about his blogcast. He does say he does it once a week. He did one driving through New York. The cast basically drove around New York and did a live podcast on the tour bus or whatever they had, which was really cool. They had some type of tour bus. But, yeah, but I still haven't, I don't know, I guess it's really difficult. There's just so many broadcasts out there. I mean, I barely can get a handful of people listening to me at any given time, and I'm sure that's the same with Kevin Smith. But, yeah, I just wanted to make sure I give a little bit of time for that because, you know, I'm going to probably title my show tonight that I was one of the people who had attended Babble on thing. This is the second one or third one actually I've gone to, and I still haven't listened to the show yet. So just to give people a heads up. Tonight was interesting. I had to put that in there because it was funny. American Movie Classic. No, it's not AMC actually. It's Turner Broadcasting. They show some really good movies. And Friday nights, Saturday mornings, technically Friday after midnight. they show all these classic horror movies. They got one on right now. Let me see. It actually has, God, he played Doctor Who. I should know this in the movie with the dialects. Peter Cushing. I just needed a minute to think about it. And before that was The Brain That Wouldn't Die. And I didn't know much about that film, but the woman who did the film, who was the head in that film, that's that black and white 1962 movie, was embarrassed by that film. In fact, other actors were so embarrassed by that film. They actually, I think one actor changed, I think, their name, made like a pseudonym name, whatever you call it, because they were so embarrassed that they actually did this film. And the thing that's really shocking, though, I'm trying to look, is it's one of these, I think, Hammer films we're on right now, the one with Peter Cushing. Hammer actually is still around. People don't know that. Hammer never went away. It was just really big in the 70s more so. Hammer is actually a British horror, strictly horror production company, obviously in England, if I probably just repeated myself. But anyway, so I'm watching, like, when I heard the Brain That Wouldn't Die came on, originally the movie was so low budget, and they didn't have time to go back and fix it. They said originally, technically the screen name was supposed to be called The Head That Wouldn't Die, but the movie was so, basically on a tight budget, very low budget. It was actually originally done in 1958 or something like that. And it was actually 1959 something, but it was in the late 50s. And for some reason, the movie wasn't released for like a couple years later, just because of different reasons, budget, just being a horrendous film that now is a classic B horror movie of all times. And it has influenced a lot of people. It was funny when I was watching this. It was very obvious. They didn't mention it, but it's very obvious. If you ever seen those Reanimator movies, I think they got a lot of the influence and the ideas for Reanimator and Bride of Reanimator, well, mainly Reanimator, strictly from this movie. So this influenced a lot of people. And it is a classic. I mean, the biggest thing they mentioned tonight, that it also was like, I guess, one of those number one movies on Mystery Science 3000 that they really, ran that through, they made a lot of fun of it. But that movie is a classic. That movie actually really is. There was some other movie that actually influenced, that influenced the producer, some other producer or director, something like that. By the way, I didn't know this, but the woman who was the head in the film, that was after she did that film. I guess it was out of embarrassment. She never did any work for years, like any acting work, because I guess that movie was just very shameful for her. So I didn't know that, but she also got married. She had a daughter who later on became a producer who produced a movie, American Psycho. So it's kind of funny. I mean, as bad as that film was, it's definitely a classic film. I mean, it's not as bad, but it's definitely on that same line, I guess, as Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I mean, it's going to always be a classic. It's going to be a turkey horror film, but also it's been definitely influenced a lot of people as well. And it's just something that's fun to watch. Now, the weird thing is, I've noticed with that film, that was definitely the way it was shot. They also mentioned something about I don't want to say prostitutes, but, basically not prostitutes. That's the wrong word. Like the girls in these nightclubs, what do you call that? Strip clubs. They were real, I think. And they had a lot of them there. But that whole feel for that film, if you watch it in the music in the background, reminds me. One thing I can tell, it had to influence David Lynch, because it had that same. If you watch David Lynch, he's into this whole jazz music in the background, this kind of like jazzy music, and you can feel that, and just the look of that film, I think, is what David Lynch has incorporated into everything he has done. Speaking of which, Kevin Smith said that David Lynch is actually going to do some type of film class. He's going to actually have a film class, but it's not around here. It's in Ohio, I think he said. And he said something else that's really ridiculous about it. But, yeah, that film was definitely felt, and it looked like an exploitation film. I mean, the sex exploitation films. It had it, like, saturated all over it. I'm sorry, I just keep on having to look back. I'm just really curious about this movie with, did I say Peter? No. Yeah, I think it is Peter Cushing, I said. Maybe I should look that up. Not that's film, I just want to make sure because I'll know by looking at his face. Peter Cushing made a lot of, like, Hammer films. He also did Doctor Who. And the thing that really pushed me off, was that Peter Cushing never fucking had a mustache or a beard in most of the stuff he did. When he did the Doctor Who movie, he played it as an old man, which he wasn't that old, but he played it like an old eccentric scientist. And he grew a mustache for that movie. And it was like, Doctor Who doesn't have a mustache. But they might have done that, I guess, maybe just to not get in trouble, I assume. Because that could have been an issue, too. Speaking about Doctor Who, for the Whovians out there, I had a guy sit next to me. I think he was trying to hint around that he was, I brought my Doctor Who umbrella, question mark one from Sylvester McCoy tonight, because it was downpouring. And this guy next to me kept on his phone kind of hinting around like, yeah, I'm a Doctor Who fan now, too. Also, because he was showing, like, kind of hinting around, like, having me look at it without saying anything, showing me a TARDIS on his monitor, a flying TARDIS. I was like, dude, that's cool, but I'm not like one's going to make a conversation with people just because I see you have a TARDIS. I gave up on that because most of these people are just new Doctor Who fans. I'm old school. Anyway, on Entertainment Weekly, and it was listed as of, I'm trying to get a date, October 8th, which was 2 days ago. I didn't know about this until now. Doctor Who spinoff Class Boss Patrick Ness aims to shock you with something new. So there's going to be another spinoff from Doctor Who because technically, what do you call it was technically a spinoff from Doctor Who, which is not on anymore. I think it only lasts a few seasons. And U.S. picked it up for one season. I can't remember the name of the spinoff. Torchwood. It came to me now. I couldn't even find it anyway. Torchwood technically was the code name for Doctor Who when they first were deciding to bring it back in 2005. So Torchwood actually became a show, but technically some of the characters and stuff were spin-off well, at least one was a spin-off character from Doctor Who. So once again, they're going to do a young adult version of a spin-off that comes off of Doctor Who. So I don't know if I'm that excited. Torchwood was actually really good. I didn't stick with it. And by the way, the director we have now also is responsible, which he does a much better job with is, because I can't remember his name off the top of my head, he's also responsible for Sherlock, which is an excellent series. The only thing is, there's usually Stephen Moffat. I'm sorry for screwing up his name. But yeah, he actually does a really good job. But Sherlock is actually only at any given time is no more than 3 episodes because they're very heavily involved. I think maybe sometimes there was about maybe 6 was the top. But last season or season before, I think there's 3 seasons. The one season was only 3 episodes, if that. So just to give you a heads up. But yeah, I just want to stick because it's Halloween. That whole theme with the Halloween stuff right now. I did not expect to do a show. I haven't unboxed. I haven't ripped open the boxes yet for the stuff I received today, which was 2 mics, so I can do an official podcast with somebody else, and an amp. I got to work on that stuff this weekend. And now I can actually, if I can find somebody now, I can really do that. I don't know if I mentioned that yesterday, but that was really cool. I saw the trailer for Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. It looks really cool. I have to agree with that. That's what this article actually said, too. RadioTimes.com watched the first trailer for Pride and Prejudice and Zombies starring Lily James and Matt Smith. Oh, I didn't know that. I just said Matt Smith. So I even gave myself a spoiler there. So, yeah, you can watch an official trailer. They actually have an official, like a teaser. It says coming into cinemas in 2016, and they got like an official poster, I guess. It's pretty hideous looking, though. But, yeah, I'm really psyched about that, too. I hope they, by the way, talk about things I'm psyched about. I talked to a friend tonight, and I said I really hope they make it available on iTunes that I can purchase. Also, the new Ash, Evil Dead Ash TV series. I really want to get a copy. I want to be able to purchase that. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm not going to read these articles too heavily. Just because I didn't think I was going to do this. Hey, by the way, if you're comic book news on comicbook.com, Bryan Cranston wants to play a Marvel villain, it says. Breaking Bad's Walter White, Bryan Cranston would like to get his hands dirty in the Marvel Cinema Universe. So that's pretty cool. Maybe they can give him something. I think anything they give him would turn out really well. You know what? Speaking of which, because that's an AMC show, I think. I don't know if this is an AMC show because I'm thinking of some other cable show at least, which I didn't even know it was on. Still was Homeland, but I did listen to Rush Limbaugh today, and he said that that's like on its 5th season already, and I've only watched like the first 2, possibly 3 seasons, and I kind of gave up on it. Not that it's a bad show; it's just so intense. And there's so many good shows on. I did remember something else, folks, too, which was news to me. I got to catch up. I didn't finish because I'm looking at it now. That's what brought it to my attention was The Flash. Do you know they're going to be making a Flash motion picture, and it will not have the actor who plays on the TV series. It's going to be a totally different actor playing The Flash. So that really kind of upset people because they like the guy who plays it on the TV series. He does a really good job. And I got to finish that. First season. So, it did get really good. It is very out of all the comic book shows that I've watched, besides Superman, Smallville, and stuff like that, The Flash is actually my favorite. I really do like the original one they did, not the original, but the one back in the 80s, I like that one. I watched the whole entire series. That wasn't that long. It got canceled. But the new one's really cool, too. Don't get me wrong. Anyway, I've been keep on going back and forth with this one thing. It's on classic horror movies because horror movie games. And it's on besthorrormovies.com. And the reason is because I bought this one horror game for the NES. I actually physically own it. And it was Friday the 13th for the NES. It's really hard to play, though, trust me. So I never got too far with it because I couldn't figure it out. And it plays fine. There's no problem with it. It's just I can't figure, the game's very two-dimensional. All right, but there's they said 10 classic games, so I'm going to give them to you now. Zombies Ate My Neighbor is the next one. Castlevania actually played. That's a pretty cool game, but believe it or not. It's fun to play. Maniac Mansion, Clock Tower, I might have heard of that one. Doom, hey, everybody's heard of Doom. Resident Evil, I've always gotten stuck on that fucking game. Silent Hill 2, which I could never really get far with that. Friday the 13th, once again, I don't know why. Maybe they forgot. Echo Knight, and Fatal Frame to the Crimson Butterfly. It looks really cool, I'll tell you that much. So there you go on those. I'm just going to close that down. I got some really good horror stuff, I think, that's not too dark. And I might have mentioned this yesterday, but this actually hit the Daily UK Mail now. And I don't know, if I mentioned this, but people put decorations out on your yard, and it's getting a lot of get a lot of talk now of dead corpses. You know, they're fake. Dead corpses, like one's nailed upside down to a coffin and stuff. Anyway, it's called, on Daily Mail, it's called Halloween Fun or Sick and Twisted. Family hangs corpses from a tree and impales a bloody body on a stake for gruesome front yard display. I got to give them credit for that, though. It looks really cool. And the bullet points say, Ohio family has displayed in yard near Densler Elementary School in Parmara. Sorry about that. The gruesome decorations also include an upside-down body on a cross. Again, these are just bullet points. And social media users are weighing in on the decorations, and opinions are split. Well, my opinion, I think it looks really cool. I'm sorry. It's pretty gross looking, yes. Maybe a little bit too offensive for most, but overall, I think it looks cool. I'm sorry. And if you go to the one on Daily Mail, it looks like they actually have some videos too. Yeah, I can see people easily getting offended by it, though. I mean, I'm not going to deny the fact it can be, pretty scary to most, or like maybe just too offensive overall. I don't know. I think it looks cool. I got that weird sense of humor, so. They're advertising on here some new TV show that's coming to the CW called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I could probably talk about mine. Well, I'm crazy myself. I proved that now. I'm almost going to get fired of my job from being crazy. Anyway, this was really cool. I saw this just before I started my show and was on iHorror. It's a website, making sure I didn't shut down. iHorror.com, and it's 25 movie cakes that really... 25 movie cakes, horror movie cakes, that we're dying to eat. Hey, and the first one they show is the most awesome one because it's my favorite all-time movie. Well, actually, there's another one, too. Jaws, the poster of Jaws. The next one is very awesome because that's another one of my favorite movies of all times. It would be on my top 10 list. How's that? Of horror movies, I mean. Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead, and the cake is made into the Book of the Dead and everything else. The next one, this is on the top of my list too, and this is where it's going to stop for now, is Jason Voorhees as a birthday. Hey, dude, I would love to have that, people. My friend corrected me tonight. He did say that on another note, because I was getting really upset about that prequel to they're advertising again. I'll explain this in a minute. Stephen King did write a prequel to the book of The Shining, so I stand corrected on that. Yeah, I got upset for no reason at all. So that movie, he says he thinks, probably he didn't read the article, but he says I think maybe that's what that's going to be based upon, is the prequel book that Stephen King did write. So I have to correct myself. And I think he's right. Anyway, it's advertised again on iHorror. I'm not going to get these tickets, and I'm going to be really upset. For that Camp Crystal Lake tour on November 13th, it's being plastered all over the fucking internet. Not making me happy. The next cake, I don't really care. It's one of those gremlin things. I would probably fucking throw the cake in the trash can. But the other one is very, very cool because I know what it is. It's Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yes, a horror cake on Santa Claus with the axe going down the chimney. Now, the next one I'm not too sure about, but it might be one of those basket case movies because it's like a split head. But that's the next one. I don't know what this one's supposed to be of, and no play makes Greg a... Yeah, I'm not even sure. I can't even tell you what this next one is, because it might be a horror movie I actually missed. I don't know. The next one is Aliens. Yes, very cool. The next one is The Walking Dead from the original graphic novel, the first one with the cafeteria doors and says, "Do not open inside." another Walking Dead cake, and then there's that green guy from Ghostbusters. I can't remember his name, the ectoplasm guy. And the next one is a Freddy Krueger one. Very cool. Another Freddy Krueger one. The Exorcist is another cake. Army of Darkness is the next one. Oh, Leatherface, Jaws. Night of the Demons. Now, out of those two movies, because I had some article on Night of the Demons, I really did not like the second one, but I did like the first Night of Demons. These are all birthday cakes, by the way. Next one, yes, Welcome to Camp Crystal Lake birthday cake. There's one with a Predator and Alien cake, and then just an Alien cake with something coming out of, the cake, the alien coming out. The Hellraiser's puzzle box, another Predator. Oh, yes. The thing with the girl, what is that called? It's that Chinese, Japanese film that was made into an American film, because they don't give the names of these. Oh, The Ring. Yes, The Ring with the well. And then a Silent Hill nurse. Those nurses were fucking hot with the no faces. But it's it's the top of the nurse, and it cuts off where the boobies are. And then the last one here it's showing is It, the clown. So there you go. They're all on these cakes. Are all shown on iHorror. I want to wait for that one. And you know what? I have to mention this first because mistakenly I wasted just way too much money today, and not just with. I didn't waste any money besides getting something to eat, honestly. But I did waste money today because officially today was Selena Gomez's new album came out, and I love Selena Gomez. I think she's a really good actress. I actually liked her in this Disney film. That's when I really got hooked into Disney, was because of her. And she was in this film that she plays like some type of dancer or something. I can't remember the name of it. It was I think it was called Another Cinderella Movie. And she did a really good job. It was like, I just accidentally stumbled. I'm not even kidding. I'm not just saying that. But I actually stumbled upon this film. And it was like, well, this is really heart-wrenching. This is a really good film that, this kid is playing in. I didn't even know who Selena Gomez was at that point. And it was like, I gotta watch some more of these Disney shows, because if they're as good as this Disney-made film, I really got hooked, and I have to say it started with her. And then I actually, because the kids, I worked in a daycare for a while, cleaning, and the kids were always obsessed with Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana, so then I got into that, too. I was like, yeah, this is really good. So those two were the ones who really kind of got me in that kick of like, hey, these shows are a little bit more lighthearted. They don't get me all upset. Don't stress me out. And they're very simple, stupid shows. They're meant for kids. So I was fine with that. It keeps my temper down. It keeps my nerves from going overboard. Oh, by the way, on a side note, because he wasn't a Disney person, I don't think. Maybe he was, or actually he was Nickelodeon. Shia LaBeouf got arrested. Because I'm not going to read the whole thing. It was 6 hours ago. It was posted. Shia LaBeouf arrested for public intoxication in Texas. So that man's not doing too well. And I like Shia LaBeouf. He was a very funny kid actor. I'm not into those Transformer films. I'll let you know now. But anyway, going back to Selena Gomez, I just really adore her. And I'm not one of these loved sex fans like some other people probably think I am. But, I saw her at least twice in concert, and it was like, it just amazes me how she can go on stage and she will put on an excellent performance. And it's something she puts to, her crew and she puts together. It's very personal. And she does a really, really good job. She gets all ages when you go to her concerts. I'd love to see her, just like to meet and greet with her, but I don't know how much she would charge. She never does that. I actually saw her technically 3 times, because I saw her over the King of Prussia Mall that one time that I got so close to actually physically seeing her too, until I opened my big mouth, because I had like a camera that looked like a professional camera, and I thought I was like one of these film crew people. And they said, well, so which network are you working for? I said, I'm not working for anybody. And it was like, oh, you got to go back to the line, which was the other side of the court of the King of Prussia that time. But yeah, I really like Selena Gomez. She's a very excellent entertainer. So I didn't think twice when I bought her new album. And I got like, where you get the CD, the digital download, discounts, and first cut tickets when she comes around, which she's come to Philly almost twice already, 3 times. She came to King of Prussia once. She came to Philadelphia twice. And she's actually coming a 3rd time this year for this thing called Jingle Bells or Jingle Ball or something like that. But I don't wish to see anybody else. I just want to see Selena Gomez. So I'm not going to waste my money. I'll wait till later on. And it was pretty steep. It was like $65 because I got not the most expensive one. I think the most expensive package deal you could buy off her webpage, because it's an official Selena Gomez webpage, was like $100. It was like, I'm not going to spend that kind of money. And it was for a colored vinyl, which I'll never play. But it comes with like an autograph and some other stuff, like a book, like a program guide and stuff. It's like, I'll put a couple bucks into that stuff. So I've never been disappointed with anything Selena Gomez has produced as far as music. I like her music. I really do, and I'm not afraid to say that. So I bought this album knowing that I liked everything else she's done. She's put out like 4 albums already. And I listened to this, and every song is about her complaining about that fucking Justin Bieber. And I was like, she doesn't say his name, but you know what it's about. It's, you can read between the lines. It's not that hard. It's like, this is a waste of fucking money. I just bought some album that's horrible now. And she's a really good entertainer, but she's got to get over that guy. And she's got enough problems. And this kind of upset me tonight because a friend was telling me about this in 2 different ways. I didn't know that now she was diagnosed with lupus. I don't even know what it is, but that was issue number 1 with her, because there's an article I kept posted on E-Online. It says, news, Selena Gomez opens up about her lupus diagnosis and being body shamed. It was the first time ever I've seen her called fat. And she wasn't fat. She looked healthy, at least, because now she looks really sickly anorexic. She looks way too thin for what she should be like. She looks like a toothpick. And that's not healthy for this girl. So, and I feel really bad how these people are just really ripping into her about her weight. And it was about a couple of pictures she had, and she was in a bikini, and she looked healthy. I mean, the fucking girl, hey, she did not look, they made her look like she was, she's like, she's overweight now. She had a few pounds, but it wasn't anything that was making her look that bad. And now they upset the poor girl so much, she really lost the weight, and now it's not healthy. Okay, I thought they said that when she was diagnosed with lupus, she said that she was ready to have a stroke. She's figuratively speaking. It was like, oh no, on top of she had a stroke? Because I honestly did not read this article. But yeah, look on E-Online. There's an article. And I really like Selena Gomez. She seems like very down-to-earth type of person. I don't know what she sees in Justin Bieber. That guy's just a total idiot. I liked some of his music. Don't get me wrong. I'll hate to admit to that one, though. But they are 2 different people, though. I mean, completely different. That is opposite ends of the spectrum. So I left this one for last because I'm kind of weaning myself off the horror stories. Now, this is really interesting. It would be nice if it's true. It's on the Daily Mail. It says HIV breakthrough could lead to a cure. Scientists identify markers on immune cells that predict who can stop drug therapy and stay well. So they might have found a way to maybe possibly cure HIV, which I never thought would happen. And also, which is good news, I read a little bit of the article, also possibly a cure for cancer. So they always say that, but this might be one step closer at least. So I'll only read the bullet points because it's not a long article, but you know me, I will fuck everything up I read, so I don't want to do that. Anyway, it says, the bullet points say, discovery sheds light on the phenomenon known as post-treatment control. The next bullet point says, for most HIV patients who stop anti-reversal therapy, the virus is detected back in the blood within a few days. Next bullet point, but some go on to experience weeks, even years in remission. The next bullet point says, scientists found 3 biomarkers that which predicts how soon the virus will return. And the next one says, or last one says, they say it will open up new avenues to understand and ultimately eradicate HIV. So somewhere in this story, though, it said that it actually is one of the, because sometimes you make certain type of cures or a drug to cure something else comes out of it which can be good. And in this case, they may have stumbled upon not only a way to cure or at least put it in permanent remission, HIV, but they may have also stumbled upon something that also works against cancer. So this is like a double positive. So again, this is on the Daily Mail. I may not be reading this right. It won't be the first time because I seem to... At least one thing I'm really good at is I fuck everything up. There's nothing I don't fuck up. So that's the good note on that one. So if you want to read it again, because my one friend Matt has done that. Like I'll say, if you want to read something, I will give you the link. So I'm giving you, it's dailymail.com on this article. And this is October 10th. This article was written. Well, actually, it says that would be today, so I don't think it was. It was actually yesterday. I apologize. At 11:39 Eastern Time, it said on the 9th of October 2015 that was posted. So, hey, there you go. And that sounds like that's a good positive note maybe to leave my stories tonight, because usually I leave sometimes, unfortunately, on some type of negative note. I don't want to do that if I don't have to. So, that being said, again, I did see Kevin Smith tonight, and I apologize because I really don't know much about the other guy whatsoever. So, that's why I'm kind of keeping him under, what do you call it? I'm sorry, I'm seeing some articles that are not very pleasant, so I'm going to keep those out of the mix. Since I did leave on, these are a lot of negative stories I'm not going to read. They're on the Daily Mail, and it's about the Middle East, so I want to stay away from that, stay clear. So, folks, it is the weekend, and I am really, really hoping that possibly I will have my new setup available. I just got to find room for it, too. What do you call it? That I can actually not only interview other people, but also hopefully maybe make that a little bit better, where I'm having this issue of popping noises and static with what I have now. So, if you want to find some interesting things, I did post a little more lighthearted stuff on my Facebook page, which can be found on, it's https, basically Facebook, /Walter.Interrante, and that's INTERRANTE. So you can find some fun stuff on my Facebook page. I'm going to have to find some way to eventually find my way into the Colonial Theater at some point, because most of the movies that are playing I have no interest in going to see this month. And this is the month that I am going to be advertised. The only good news is, which I probably really didn't want to go see, was the Rocky Horror Picture is sold out at the Colonial Theater in Phoenixville. Which, again, I kind of really, it's the 40th anniversary, so no shock that would sell out. And that's always sells out, probably. But what are people going to see? They're going to see advertisements for my show, so please, I hope this will help, because I'm experimenting. It cost me $80 for the month of this month to advertise myself on the big screen, just for a stupid billboard, but I'm hoping it will work. It hasn't yet, trust me, but I hope it will. Anyway, folks, I'm just babbling on, no puns intended. Have a good weekend. I will come back this weekend, but I'm going to sign off for now this early morning. So I hope you enjoy my shows, and tune in again. Thanks a lot for listening to me.